16 years younger, 2-year-old Meghan, looking at her tall, slender, beautiful sister.
When it comes to keeping up with the royals, Lady C doesn't hold back. The socialite and author is well known for her opinions on the royal family, especially regarding Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
I've been familiar with it for a long time, and in fact, I've seen the tape. I've got them somewhere, God knows where now.
She once dropped a bombshell that she had in fact seen a tape of, allegedly Meghan, which depicts the actress turned princess in a not-so-royal light. In the latest, she reveals where Archie actually lives, and it's not with Meghan and Harry under the bright California sun, but in the UK with his actual mother.
Meghan just needs to die. Someone needs to kill her. Maybe it should be me. Because of people creating hate. You are making people want to kill me. It's not just a tabloid. Is security on? Is everything? That's real. Are my babies safe?
Meghan is allegedly in shambles as this got revealed that the person she claimed was her son and told the world about was in fact not living with her, which throws a wrench in her hidden plans and her image in general. She has always pushed the narrative of being a mother and how her kids are. The Duchess speaks consistently on motherhood, being a working mom, and her unconventional ways she and Harry raise her kids. But this one line from Lady C is enough to break that entire narrative. Prince Archie isn't living with her, which would explain the silent and low-key visits made by Harry to the UK. It would seem family is the reason, but not the family you're thinking of.
While we have now seen baby Archie bundled up and fast asleep, until now, there was a lot we didn't know about just how the seventh in line to the British throne came into this world.
Meghan and Harry tied the knot in May 2018, and in a year, they welcomed their first son, Archie. This birth didn't come without its drama. There were talks, allegations of surrogacy, fake pregnancy belly, staged photo ops. Another thing was the birth certificate. That particular event makes this claim even more interesting because shortly after Archie was born, his birth certificate featured both Harry and Meghan's name as his parents. But shortly after, her name was taken out, nowhere to be found.
They will cease using the title Royal Highness and will no longer receive taxpayer money. Last month, they said they wanted to lead a more independent life.
What made this claim even more scandalous is that it was met with silence from Meghan and Harry, and the royal family in general. This is odd for Meghan, as she's never one to keep quiet and back down when an allegation against her is made. When the famed Megxit happened, she didn't shut down about it either. She was in every podcast, talk show, etc., to tell her side of the story, to villainize the monarchy whilst painting herself as the victim. One thing you can't deny is her voice. She actually doesn't know when to not talk. In this situation, her silence is deafening, and so is the palace. If there's one thing about silence, sometimes it speaks volumes without saying anything at all, which is why these allegations are not dying down anytime soon. The question now is this: who is Archie's real mother? If timelines are correct, then Archie was conceptualized just a few months after the couple got married. This was a time where the two were known to be all over each other. But with this line from Lady C, one can't help but wonder if all that was for sure a ploy, a distraction for something darker underneath the PDA and photo ops. Meghan and Harry have claimed that they aren't in support of showing their kids on social media, and usually they speak against it.
Which, it has to be said, is awash in Toronto. Oh, my dear, how wonderful it is.
But now, was that another strategy from the Duchess herself? A cover-up to what goes on actually behind those Montecito walls? Where exactly does Archie live? Unlike the other royals across the pond, there are moments where we see Prince William and his family, kids included, but nothing like that when it comes to Harry and his own family.
Well, this morning was different because Archie has a cold, so he's home from school, but I get up at 6:30 and gives me a minute to, I wish I could say I woke up and meditated. I don't do that. I have the monitors on so I could hear both the kids. They get up at 7.
You can say, oh, they're trying to protect their privacy, but every action they've taken since they fled the castle walls have been the opposite of protecting their privacy. They show up in galas, fashion shows, talk shows, games, birthday parties, and everything in between. Suddenly, they aren't showing their kids despite Meghan's obvious lust for attention.
I'm starting to comprehend the position that she was in as a mother, single parent, trying to look after 2 boys with this intense media harassment.
What this alleges is that Archie biologically belongs to Harry, but not Meghan. He was conceived shortly after the couple tied the knot in 2018. This now means that Harry stepped out of the marriage. So what's that whole show of love and support about then? And why did Meghan maybe cover this up?
We'll see you upstairs. Hey, Harry, what are you upstairs?
One side believes that this falls in line with her master plan. This is how she secured control of Harry and bends him to her will. If I help you out, then you do what I say and only want. This might explain why Harry has always been complicit and doesn't go against his wife. Another claim is a surrogate. Allegedly in Meghan's previous marriage, she made her ex sign a contract that insisted he pays to ensure she gets her body back after pregnancy. So a surrogate was the plan in this new marriage, but allegedly the plan did not go through as the woman asked to keep the child. And since the child is biologically related to Harry, he still carries a sense of responsibility to him. And so, the visits happen.
What's your name?
Amelka.
Amelka? Oh, how beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. It means so much to the family. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
How long have you been waiting?
On the other end, Meghan gets to use this as a means to amplify her image and paint herself as this woman who's juggling motherhood and being a career woman. But in the real sense, her businesses are failing, and her title as a mother is being called to question.
And all of the speculation and all of the antics surrounding that. But there was nothing but her hands were tied.
What Lady C is now hinting at takes this entire saga to a far more unsettling place. According to her, the truth has been hidden in plain sight for years, masked by carefully curated narratives, strategic appearances, and emotional sound bites that pull at the public's sympathy.
Harry has always been a drama queen, and he's married the Empress of Drama, so it's hardly surprising that they've...
She implies that Archie's living arrangement is not some temporary or casual situation, but a long-term decision that was made quietly and deliberately, away from public scrutiny. If true, this would mean that the image of the hands on California Mum is not just exaggerated, but fundamentally untrue.
Are you feeling excited for your parents?
He's an English one.
All our neighbors. Thank you for choosing this.
From this point on, the story moves beyond personalities and into patterns. The suggestion being made is that Archie resides in the UK under the care of the woman who actually carried and gave birth to him, a woman who has remained unnamed, unseen, and deliberately erased from the public narrative.
What the impact on your physical and mental health of all the pressure that you clearly feel under?
I would say, look, any woman, especially when they're pregnant, you're really vulnerable.
This is where the word shame begins to follow Meghan like a shadow, not because of the child's existence, but because of the alleged lengths taken to rewrite reality itself. This claim reframes Harry's behavior in a way that suddenly makes uncomfortable sense. His frequent and often unexplained trips back to the UK, the visible tension whenever his children are mentioned, the carefully rehearsed answers in interviews. It paints the picture of a man caught between duty and deception.
3 and 5, they're amazing. But all you want to do as parents is protect them. And so as we can see what's happening in the online space, we know that there's a lot of work to be done there, and we're just happy to be able to be a part of.
A father who knows where his child truly is, yet remains publicly committed to a version of events that protects his marriage and preserves a very fragile illusion. For years, royal watchers have pointed out how odd it was that Archie was rarely seen even in controlled environments. Unlike other royal children, there were no casual moments, no candid glimpses, no organic interactions. Everything involving Archie felt staged, brief, and oddly distant.
I always make it a point when I'm traveling, if I can't do bedtime stories with my kids, because Archie and Lily are just 3 and 5, so I'll always pack a really thin book and I'll videotape myself reading it.
According to these allegations, this is because Meghan could only present what she had limited access to: controlled moments, carefully timed appearances, and nothing that would allow prolonged observation or questioning. Then there is the legal silence. No lawsuits, no cease and desist letters, no dramatic statements. This is deeply uncharacteristic for a woman who has previously taken action over far less damaging claims. In this situation, silence does not read as restraint, but as limitation.
But I think confession for you today that I could very comfortably say, and that part, to have a partner and a husband who is just so supportive and to have...
Responding would require evidence, and evidence is exactly what cannot be produced without unraveling the entire story that has been sold to the public. The palace silence is equally striking. Buckingham Palace is known for stepping in when claims threaten the legitimacy of royal children or the line of succession. Yet here, there is nothing. No clarification, no firm denial. This silence fuels speculation that the truth is far more complex and legally sensitive than anyone is willing to admit. Acknowledging it publicly could open a door that implicates not just Meghan and Harry, but the institution itself. There are whispers that private agreements were made behind closed doors, arrangements designed to avoid scandal and maintain stability. If Archie is biologically Harry's child, but legally complicated in terms of maternity, then discretion becomes the priority. Distance becomes the solution. The child remains in the UK, the narrative remains vague, and Meghan continues to perform the role she desperately wanted the world to believe.
At two of their birthdays, because I don't remember. Sweet. Yeah, so April 14th, May, wait, is that 16 or 18? Oh no. 18th.
Motherhood became Meghan's greatest shield. Whenever criticism arose, she leaned into the image of the devoted mother, unfairly targeted and misunderstood. It was an effective tactic, one that softened public opinion and redirected scrutiny. But if that motherhood is more symbolic than practical, then the entire foundation of her public identity begins to crack. There is also an undercurrent of resentment running through these claims. The suggestion that Archie did not serve the purpose Meghan intended. Instead of securing her permanent relevance and control, his existence raised more questions than it answered.
When something is invented, let's take the car for example. When the car was first invented, there wasn't a seatbelt. You could smoke inside of your car. And what happened? People started to get hurt.
The lack of visibility, the inconsistencies, the shifting details, all of it chipped away at credibility and now threatens to bring the entire structure down. This revelation inevitably casts a shadow over everything that followed, including the birth of Lilibet. If one child's story is this unclear, it forces people to re-examine the rest. Suddenly, nothing feels straightforward. Every announcement, every photograph, every emotional anecdote now appears calculated rather than candid. Harry's role in all of this reads as deeply tragic. He appears less like a co-conspirator and more like a man trapped by his own choices. A prince raised with duty and structure, now living a life built on silence and compliance. His discomfort whenever the topic of his children arises no longer feels like shyness, but like the weight of something he cannot say.
If I don't have meetings in the morning, then I try to do school drop-off, so they're at two different schools. So that's a big circuit. So from 6:30 in the morning on drop-off.
As these allegations continue to circulate, public perception shifts. Sympathy turns into skepticism. Support gives way to suspicion. The same audience that once defended Meghan now begins asking questions she cannot easily answer. Where are the children? Why the secrecy? Why the inconsistencies? Why the refusal to address the claims directly? What remains clear is that this story is far from over. There is a growing sense that more people know the truth, but are choosing silence, at least for now. When that silence eventually breaks, it will not just challenge Meghan's image. It will call into question every interview, every book, and every carefully curated moment built on emotional storytelling rather than transparency.
Here's another lovely family photo. Your daughter Lilibet
your son Archie, and of course your wife Meghan, your daughter Lilibet is named in her honor.
If Archie truly lives in the UK with his biological mother, then the greatest irony of all is this. Meghan left the royal family claiming a lack of control and protection, yet allegedly created a life defined by secrecy, control, and illusion. And now, the very silence that once shielded her may be the thing that finally exposes her.